Daredevil is, in a lot of ways, Marvel's Batman, patrolling Hell's Kitchen, unleashing some good old-fashioned street-level vigilante justice. But here's the question: how would Daredevil do if he actually had to fight his way through the Bat family? Well, today that's what we're going to try and figure out. Born in Hell's Kitchen in New York, Matt Murdock was blinded by a radioactive toxin while trying to save another man's life. But while he lost the sense of sight, all his other senses were heightened to a superhuman degree, giving him his signature radar sense. From there, Matt grew up and dedicated his life to protecting the innocent, becoming a lawyer by day and the famous street-level vigilante Daredevil by night. And Daredevil definitely is superhumanly strong. I mean, sure, he's still technically just a human, but right off the bat, Matt is regularly shattering metal, breaking it apart with his bare hands. This is light work for Matt Murdock. He's also regularly breaking apart bricks and concrete with his attacks, and he's really no stranger to just lifting heavy things either. Daredevil has been able to flip over a stretched limo with just brute strength. Or what about the time when he picked up a 400-pound barbell, started just swinging it around like a bow staff? That's seriously impressive. And I really think Daredevil's strength is best summarized with just the fact he's able to beat down Kingpin. Kingpin is the same guy who's been able to overpower the likes of Spider-Man and Captain America, and Daredevil can beat him. Matt is stupid strong. He's also crazy tough. I mean, Daredevil is the son of battling Jack Murdock. He's known how to take a punch since he was just a kid and get back up swinging. I mean, forget just taking beatings from regular criminals or some semi-powerful characters. Daredevil has straight up taken hits from the Hulk before. That's like the upper limits of his toughness right there. He's regularly been able to survive explosions, being burned alive, being hit with serious bolts of electricity, and most of the time, Daredevil doesn't just take the attack and still remain standing, but he keeps on fighting, and oftentimes still wins the fight. The man is just insistent on never going down and never stopping. And while he is weak to sonic attacks and a powerful enough sound wave can knock him out, it's not an instant KO. In fact, oftentimes Daredevil has proven that he can fight through it and take out the bad guy, even if he's in extreme pain or if his radar sense is knocked out. But where Daredevil really thrives is with speed and agility. In fact, if it wasn't for Spider-Man, well, I would argue that Daredevil is the most agile character in Marvel. He's also one of the fastest street-level heroes too. His agility is just absolutely off the charts. He's even had better reactions than Spider-Man and Captain America from time to time. And bullet dodging is just absolutely easy for him. He can dodge point-blank bullets. He does this regularly too. Just make it look easy. And he's not just able to dodge bullets after they've already been fired, but the man is regularly deflecting bullets too. Just swatting them back with his baton. And he's done it so many times that you can kinda say he's the best at it. But here's the thing, Daredevil is also one of the best and most skilled fighters in Marvel too. Like, he's fought against some of the most skilled martial artists in Marvel. Bullseye, Elektra, Karnak, and he's beaten all of them. He's also regularly been tested by the Hand, other gangs of assassins. In fact, there's the infamous feat of Matt Murdock, not Daredevil, beating 100 armed Yakuza members, half of whom are hopped up on MGH and strong enough to punch through a human. Matt won that fight in 3 minutes. And I don't think anyone is better at nerve strikes and pressure points than Daredevil. Matt is one of the few fighters who consistently uses nerve strikes in pretty much every fight, and some of them are seriously painful and dangerous. They're able to completely bypass durability and leave some pretty powerful and tough opponents just lying crippled on the floor. Then last but not least, well, Daredevil has his superhuman radar senses. And with that radar sense, well, Matt pretty much becomes dang near omniscient to a certain degree. He can sense everything going on around him. He can smell your blood pressure rising, hear the faintest heartbeat, and it actually allows him to sort of predict the future a bit. Because of his senses, Daredevil regularly is able to react to something before it actually happens, all because he can sense it was going to happen before it ever did. With Batgirl, well, because Barbara's the daughter of the police commissioner, Batgirl has been trained to be a fighter since she was just 6 years old. With just that skill alone, well, Batgirl was a good enough fighter that she managed to impress Batman. And from there, well, Bruce took her under his wing and personally trained her for a year, setting Barbara up to be one of the best and most skilled fighters in the world. But yeah, Daredevil is easily beating Batgirl. He's stronger, faster, tougher, and more skilled than Barbara. There's really nothing that she can do to put Matt down. This is an easy win for Daredevil, and he's clearing. Tim Drake as Red Robin is known as a brilliant fighter and trained in hand-to-hand combat under Batman himself. However, he's probably the least skilled out of the 4 main Robins. A future version of Tim even realized that he would never be on the same level as Bruce, or Dick, or any of the other Robins. And just like Batgirl before him, that's not great when you're fighting against Daredevil. Matt is better than Tim in literally every category. He's outstatting, and he's more skilled by a serious degree. The only argument for Tim is that he's an amazing detective. He might be able to pick up pretty quickly that Daredevil is using his hearing throughout the fight and follow up with some sonic attacks. Problem is, Daredevil is really resistant to sonics at this point in his career, and just simple sonic attacks aren't enough to stop him from beating the brakes off Red Robin. Robin is maybe one of the best fighters out of the bunch, the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, raised in the Bat family and the League of Assassins. In fact, Damian has said in the past that he knows just as many martial arts as Batman himself, and he can use them all more effectively. Now, this is likely a massive overstatement. Damian isn't quite that good, but he's still ridiculously skilled, and he's just simply a feisty fighter and would love testing his skill against someone like Daredevil. But just like we've seen so far, Matt is better in every way. He's both the more skilled fighter and physically superior. Not to mention, he's got way more experience too. There's really just no argument for Damian to win, although he could give a good fight. Jason Todd is Red Hood, one of the only members of the Bat family that is totally fine with killing and using lethal attacks. He's also easily one of the best martial artists on the planet, having been trained under some of the best fighters, including Batman, Bronze Tiger, and Lady Shiva. Even Damian, who's not too fond of Red Hood, still has to admit that he's one of the greatest fighters who's ever lived. Red Hood is skilled enough to beat Deathstroke and Ra's al Ghul in a fight. He's even admitted that each time that he's fought against Batman, it's him who's the one holding back due to their relationship. And this one is probably the first time where Daredevil actually gets pressed in the fight. Jason is a hard out here. You can argue that maybe Matt holds a slight edge in strength. Daredevil is surprisingly strong, but Red Hood definitely holds the edge in durability because his armor is way better. Then of course, Matt takes the speed and agility edge, no question. And for as good and skilled as Red Hood is, I still give that edge to Daredevil. Red Hood's got way better tech and isn't afraid to fight dirty, but he's not hitting Daredevil with bullets, and I think Daredevil's skill and experience still gives him the edge. He should win more times than not. Dick Grayson is both the adopted son of Bruce Wayne and the original Robin to Batman. However, once Dick kinda got old enough, he set out on his own, becoming Nightwing. After being put through some pretty intense training by Batman, Dick became a master martial artist, capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the best fighters in the world and beating them. Batman has even said in the past that Nightwing is the toughest and best fighter out of all the Robins, and Dick has proven this by beating both Deathstroke and even Batman himself in the past. And against Daredevil, well, this fight is straight 50-50. There's a good argument that either Matt or Dick is stronger, faster, tougher, or the better fighter out of the two of them. And while Nightwing has the better gear, that's countered with Daredevil's radar sense and nerve strikes and arguably more experience. This truly is as close to a 50-50 as you want to get. Cassandra Cain, born as the daughter of David Cain and Lady Shiva, she was raised to be the perfect killer before rebelling against that and joining up with Batman and the Bat family instead. Growing up, Cass was taught to read body language rather than actually speaking, which now that allows her to perfectly read an opponent's body and understand their next move, sometimes before even they themselves know it. She's one of the absolute best fighters in the world. With nothing but her fighting skills, she's been able to easily defeat Nightwing, and Batman said that he would lose to her if he ever had to fight her. And I don't think Daredevil is going to get past Cass, although it is insanely close. Daredevil outstats Cassandra, but she's the more skilled fighter and should be able to beat Matt for that reason alone. If she's able to beat Batman, well, that's reason enough to think that she can beat Daredevil. And if you want to argue that Daredevil can beat Cassandra, well, he's not beating Batman. The only edge that Daredevil has over Bruce is probably speed and agility. Outside of that, well, Batman is the better fighter, he's stronger and tougher, he's got more experience, and he's got the better gear and weapons. Batman holds pretty much every edge in the fight, and so far as good as Daredevil is, well, Batman is just better, and he's beating Matt.